This is my third video in one day. The others were very, very short, though. In fact, one of them, a friend of mine, Bernie, replied on, and I want to respond to something here. My name is Dan Paulson. Welcome to the video. What did he say here? Hat switcher. I do think you cracked some things wide open. People just don't want to see it or literally can't, no matter how it's explained. It goes against their cherry-picked moral prescriptions. Yep. The state of our country and people is really scary. I have no idea where we are headed, but I don't think it's any good place. People seem super out to lunch or radicalized. How the masses got this way is something I think about quite a bit. And this is what I wanted to talk about. Could it be from the 9-to-5 lifestyle, television, overstimulation, maybe the food? Who knows? It doesn't seem like critical thought. It seems like critical thought is in decline. It absolutely is. Okay, yeah, I don't need to keep reading on through that, though. Let me go ahead and... This is a big story. It's not just this moment in time. What is happening is something that's happening over a long period of time, and in order to understand it, we've got to step back from it, and that's hard, because we live in our emotional experiences and go, I don't like this. What we need to do is try to look at planet Earth and the entire universe from outside of it. Not just planet Earth, but the entire universe. At some point, it is emerging, and life begins to emerge. There's dinosaurs and stuff early on. There's life for millions of years. Millions of years. They've been here a lot longer. Humans just showed up. We've been here for such a short period of time. However, other life lasted a long time because it didn't develop. It didn't develop. And when it got wiped out, it was wiped out for, the asteroid hit or something like that. So, yeah, it wipes out, changes the environment so bad that kind of life goes. But other life continues. We emerge eventually. I think what's important to do is to try to imagine looking at the humans back then, the hominids. They're on the plain, they're hunting and foraging and living. The brain is developing, and the brain is probably, a million years ago or so, probably about like what we have now. And I don't know. I mean, there's probably a lot of development happens as thought and other things begin to happen. I'm not really sure. I'm not an expert in that area. What I do know is that if we were back in that time throughout the day, if you could imagine it, you would not be thinking about what you're going to get at the store, what car you want, what vacation you're going to be taking next year, whether or not you're going to get a pay raise. Things like that, a part of our life would never have been a part of life. You probably have maybe 10 things throughout the day that you are concerned with. Food, water, not getting eaten, a number of things right there. Watching the elements, staying protected. You're focused on those things. Your mind is continually focused on a small amount of things. So the mind is very developed, but also very capable. There's not a lot in there to deal with, but what is in there is all the things that are necessary for life as we evolve. Animals have incredible fear and pain. We experience fear and pain. If we didn't experience fear and pain, we would never have evolved. We wouldn't have wanted to. We wouldn't have cared. We wouldn't have run away from something that was eating us, and we would have just sat there while it was eating us. Oh, I got a leg gone, about ready to probably dead now. Yeah, fear and pain are incredibly important for survival. If you don't feel those, something's wrong. So here we are later. Now, civilization emerges. Things happen to the point to where humans are now learning to manage their resources. Oh, you know what? We don't have to go forage. We can now grab these things and seeds if we plant them here. Oh, yeah, we gathered a bunch of stuff and threw it around here and come back and see it's planted. We're learning. Oh, you know what? We can do this on purpose. Let's start creating areas. So they do. They create agriculture. They create irrigation, all of the things necessary, and society begins to get bigger and bigger. Now there's this fearful creature called the human being that has all kinds of different brain types. Well, probably about 10 primary different brain types. And that most of the brain types are going to be very similar. If you look at a group evolving like that, you don't want everybody the same. You want this group it's a very weak group. How does it evolve over time? Is that it's optimized in brain balance for that group to be a much stronger entity than all those individuals in there. So now you got a core group in here that is in the middle. The hunters, the foragers, the gatherers, the baby engine, the GOP, the people that don't want abortions and then don't give a damn what happens to the kids after they're born. Really don't. They'll put them in jail. They'll put them to death. Doesn't matter. We want kids. We'll just as quickly kill people. There's something that's not right in their thinking. It's like, make it happen and then don't worry about preserving it. That's how life is going to be the healthiest. Not for an individual, but for the group of humans. The vast majority of brain types are not going to be able to distinguish very well. Anything that comes into this group, you err on the side of safety. We got women and children in here, and something's coming in that I don't recognize. You don't stop and figure it out. You kill it. I'm afraid of it. I kill it. It's an enemy. It's an enemy. All right. Then there's us on the outskirts. There's less of us with this brain type. We're kind of stuck because civilization is happening now. Our job evolved to protect the group, and we cannot protect the group. We cannot protect the group anymore because we're not living the way our brains evolved to work. And there's more of their brains than there are of ours. Guess what's going to happen? Yeah. Okay, so what happens at some point in time, you look at things now and go, what is all of the sexual orientation, the I'm not a boy, girl, man, what is going on with all that stuff? It doesn't seem normal. I think what's happening is it's normal. I think that it's evolution. That is, we're getting, long ago, before we emerged into civilization, life would have been incredibly difficult. And if you are born with such a deviation that you don't quite fit, you're going to be food. You're not going to make it. Life is going to be very straight. It's going to be man, it's going to be woman, it's going to be child. Man, woman, child, child, more, more. Until at some point, there's all kinds of genetic variation that's coming in there. There's probably people born back then that didn't know either. But guess what? Life is too tough. You're not going to make it that way. What happens now, civilization is here. Life has become easy to survive. And all kinds of genetic modifications can get into the system. I hear people really complain about the gender thing. And I'm like, you know what? The gender thing is not what's killing humanity. I don't give a damn about if a couple of guys think they're girls and they want to go get married and go do their thing and never have children, I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with people who want you to not have an abortion, regardless of whether or not you're in drug-infested, crime-ridden area that's just, people are just being people, having sex, having kids. We're producing more problems. And since life is easy, all these genetic variations get to exist. And what is the problem for humanity? A man that thinks he's a woman or a woman that thinks he's a man and they want to go live together are not a threat to me. And they're not a threat to life. Christians, I want to apologize. I got to take a different turn here, okay? I don't want to pick on people, but Christianity is a horrible thing as far as I'm concerned. And if you're a nice person and you're a Christian, I wish you weren't a Christian. I wish you were a Buddhist or something else. I know that ranting I did earlier today, you see a couple people drop off. It's like, okay, yeah, he's starting to hit the Christians. You know what? For crying out loud, it's monomyth being worshipped. Okay, so what happens is it just gets bigger and bigger. Take a 10-gallon terrarium, seal it up, put a pair of mating frogs in there and never open it up. How long does it last? It's got a limited lifespan. Earth itself has a limited lifespan. The way it works, the way everything is collected, how the water, the oxygen, the atmosphere, the iron core, the magnetic core, all of that stuff are just perfect for us right here to be here. But those are in progress. Earth itself is in a life cycle. It's not going to be here forever. We are in a life cycle within its life cycle. However, civilization is in a life cycle that's bigger than the individual and it's smaller than planet Earth. Somewhere we're in that. And as civilization emerges, we're filling up the terrarium. And what happens is that there has to be an evil force that says, I have to go kill things. I don't like stuff so much. I'm so afraid of it that it has to die. The evil that is in charge is a necessary component to prevent overpopulation. However, it doesn't know that, and it doesn't understand that. And Christianity and all things Abraham, Hinduism as well, things that prevent you from understanding how life works, and that this doesn't matter. That's a problem, because life for humans and other animals is going to be shortened by people who go, this planet doesn't even matter. Supernatural this, supernatural that, I'm going to go someplace else when I die. That is a problem for life. That is completely irresponsible. All right, so we're in a life cycle, and we are in a life cycle of creatures that grow and have fear and have invented a way to circumvent that fear in themselves, but we're still growing and the acting out is still there. It's too busy, or it's too crowded, it's too full, we got borders up, this is ours. It's so tribal. Seriously. Does God bless America? Oh, does God bless Britain? Does God bless Australia? Wouldn't God bless the world? A God would bless the world. When you got people saying God bless America, you got tribal people right there. If your God only blesses your country, you got something wrong with your thinking. This is selfishness. I, me. As long as I feel okay, as long as I feel good, I don't care what happens out there. I don't care. I'll help out. I'll do some things as long as I'm okay. But if I'm not okay, I'm not. And you have to be you got to be a member of my tribe in order for me to help you. If you're not a member of my tribe, you're an enemy. Christianity, Abraham allows demonization. What's happening in Gaza? What's happened to Palestinians? The question I have is, why would everybody, here's the thing, the God of Abraham is like, we finally evolved God to the point that you can't touch it anymore. You can't see it, it's out there, it can't get any bigger than that. It went from idols or, from something living in the ocean to further and further out to up in the sky. The more we learn, the farther the God gets away. Until pretty soon you have to put God, to believe God, you have to put God out of reach. You can't have God where you can see it. You pick it apart. So what happens then? Everybody has to use that same God. It can't get any bigger. So now we've got the Jews who morphed that God. The Bible starts out in Genesis. It is not a complete monotheism. It is not. There's plural going on there. This is a morphing. So they morph the God into that. Christians come along. It's like, yeah, okay, well, they bailed out on you. God bailed out on you because you guys didn't keep your promise. So we're going to, he came to us now. It's this weird thing. And then Islam comes along later, 500 years approximately after Christianity is developed. Islam is being developed, all from the same God. And now they all hate each other. This is just tribal. Everybody's using one God that is what? Pushed out where you can't see it. That's people here living in fear and believing in something to circumvent that fear. People cannot circumvent their fear. I have fear, but I live with my fear. I don't circumvent it with some sort of thinking that makes it so that I don't have to experience that fear. They experience fear too. The belief is a way to I don't know, it's like a drug, a psychological drug, religion. Yeah, a psychological drug. They still have fear. How do you know? Who owns all the guns? Most of them. And wants them never controlled. Never. And wants more of them. wants less control. Who is that? You don't want a bunch of guns to kill people for protection unless you're afraid that something's going to happen. We're not functioning in a way as humanity to recognize what is really happening. And the religion is preventing that from happening. So religion is going to accelerate the demise of humanity because people are not understanding where we come from. It's like, we don't need to take care of the earth. We don't need to do any of that stuff. We can just keep populating. We're not looking at what's going on. I didn't know this as a kid. We need to, as a civilization on planet Earth, we need to make some evolutionary steps bigger than what we have. And going backwards to Abraham is not moving forward. What that is repeating old sequences. When the fear gets so much, or the power, the Crusades, oh my God, how many people died under Christians who say, everybody picks on us. We're just defending ourselves. Yeah. To me, that's where the fearful brain types go, into Abrahamic type religions or despair or something like that. I know the brains are different. I mean, it just, to me, I listen to these preachers with suits on and all kinds of what they claim is biblical knowledge or something, saying that these long things. I had a video up not that long ago. I put one up about somebody who claimed that objective morality proves the existence of God. And I went through that and how it's a bunch of horse crap. But when I hear somebody say that right now, what I have to realize is that humans are freaking animals. And that person right there is telling me that if they didn't have a fear of God, they'd probably be molesting their own children and yours too. How many children, boys, has the Catholic Church molested? Objective morality, my ass. When I hear somebody say that, I'm going to tell you right there, you should think to yourself, uh-oh, perv, stay away. This is an individual that has a fear of God, and that is why he thinks he's not hurting people for fun. That's a sick brain right there, that I think. But it's a normal brain. That's the problem with it. Those are normal brains, so there's nothing we can do. You cannot teach them. They are led. They are guided. And they're guided by whatever their group is. And right now, you see what that is. And there's nothing we can do to circumvent that. We can't stop it. I'm at a point where it's like, I'm not that concerned with me anymore. And I'm not concerned with individuals. I'm concerned with Earth and humanity, all of it. It's a much bigger picture. The power in America right now is just greed and fear-based. And it is incredibly ignorant, and it doesn't know what is real. And if it doesn't like something, it just calls it a lie. Oh, that's a lie. Oh, that's a truth. I like that. Yeah. Human cognitive skills have been flushed from there. Flushed. And there's nothing that can be done. They're fear-driven, massive. What happens? You got to duck. Shit's going to hit the fan, and there's nothing that can be done because it's a natural evolutionary process that we are not, at this point in time in humanity, able to circumvent because human capacity to understand is just not there. Fear and joy is what drives people. So now here we are in life. I think that we have too many things going on. The group, when you listen to people, when I talk to people, it's astounding to have them talk to me. I think these people are really dumb. So-and-so says this, and so-and-so says that, and somebody here says this, and over there, it's like, what do you know? What do you figure out on your own? Can you bring anything to the table other than telling me some offhand something from somebody else? No, they don't. What you realize right there is those brain types need to be told what to do, and they do, and they believe what makes them feel good. They don't believe what's true or not. They believe the truth is a non-issue. What is an issue to them is what makes them feel good. The emotion is what they make decisions based on. I'm scared. I don't want to be scared. I'm going to make decisions to prevent that fear from happening. Where someone out here will be like, you know what? Yeah, I got fear too, but I have to make the right decision because making a wrong decision is going to cost lives. Yeah, so those of us that can see are stuck out here going, son of a... We're the ones hurt because we're well, there's a lot of people hurt. I mean, we're the ones that are hurt by watching what's going on and not being able to disconnect from it. I tell people, got to turn away. And I do as much as I can, but it's like, you can't. It's right in your face. I got friends from other countries telling me, man, we're really scared. I tell them, I apologize, but I had nothing to do with what America is doing right now. And I would, if I had it to do over again, I'd put every Abrahamic on their own fucking planet. Here, you guys go scrap among yourselves. Ask a Christian if they're okay with Bill Clinton now that they've got pussy-grabbing Trump in there as their hero. Blowjob in the Oval Office, but not that big of a deal, is it? Jews, Christians, Muslims, just let them go kill each other. You all got the same God. For crying out loud, you can't recognize your tribal nature. And is it the God of Abraham? No, it's the God of Marduk. But it doesn't matter. Humans have very... People think right here, right now, it just happened. They can't grasp that long duration that's been going on. It's been happening. They think, my awareness is just here. We just showed up, right? No. But brains like that are going to be that way, and there's more of them. And I think that that's the issue. It's too complicated. They're led. They're fearful. They're aggressive. They're angry. They hate knowledge, information, facts. If you can prove something that doesn't square with their belief, it's a lie. You're an evil, Satan, devil, something like that. Long ago, I put up a video showing my library, all the books I have and the stuff I work through. And there was a Christian on there, one of those Christian male brain type. Not all Christians are this way. But someone actually posted on there that they hoped my house would burn down, burning down the entire library so that I could see that the Bible would be left standing up right there. What kind of fucking assholes are that? I hope your books burn. I've got the Quran. I've got all kinds of Buddhist, Hindu, Egyptian. I've got many different things up there. Greek myth, all of that were all part of my library because I'm a student of global studies. And somebody told me they hope my house burns down and burns the library. Yeah, how nice. But what's important, what critically important to understand is that right there is a monstrously huge mindset right now in America. Right there. Facts, knowledge, books, destroy it. So to me, there's a good chance that we're kind of on the tail end of humanity's time here on Earth because of, the frog in the terrarium syndrome, plus the fact that the frogs are evolving. And you know what? They don't want to share. They want to be the ones. That is a normal evolutionary brain type that was very effective for humans to survive 1 million years ago. And it is now the very thing that is going to kill us off. What caused this to emerge, this demonization of other tribes, now that we've gotten big and we've developed like this, is the same thing that's going to take us out. So for the question for us that can see that, how do we maintain our mental health? This is what I think. If we could put ourselves back in their time, there might be very few moments where you weren't afraid. You would have to be full, happy, sitting on a hill where you can look around, nothing's coming after you, group is happy for a moment in time, you might be okay. But I have a feeling humans evolved like other creatures out there. You're constantly wary. You have to. You're sensing the environment. Something is coming after you. That's how life is out there. Unless, apex predators are not that way. But most animals are. Humans are very edible. We don't stand up well to lions. 10 of us naked out there running around would not stand up to one lion. That lion would have a feast. But I think what happens is that we gradually get accustomed to a certain feeling. So when we were afraid all the time, that would have been normal. Then as life goes on, things get easier. We find reasons now where we got moments where we don't need to be afraid. Nothing's trying to eat us anymore, but that fear is still wired in. We're afraid of everything else. We're afraid of what's under the bed, what's in the dark, what's in the closet, what's in the woods, what's across the border. We're still afraid. It's a normal thing. But I think what happens is we get accustomed to things. When you're under a lot of stress, eventually you get accustomed to that stress. When the stress comes off, you feel very enlightened, but after a while that becomes a normal feeling as well. And what we're doing is we're shifting our emotional feelings right now because there's a good reason to, because things are not okay. And we know it, and we sense it, and we see it. And we see that we don't know the extent of it, but we know that there's impending bad for planet Earth and humanity. Anyway, the thing that I'm aware of is that the brain types like that are completely unreasonable. They're on charge right now that are just going, there's a certain something there. If you have knowledge or information, they don't understand what that is. They will throw things at you that come from other places. They can't, the communication isn't there. It's really just, it's a mess. You can't talk with people. We're kind of stuck. What do? I sit here in the evenings. I do my work throughout the day. I do my research and I read and figure out stuff. And at some point, I think I'm kind of getting done with that. I've been at it pretty thick and heavy for a long time. I've figured out what's going on, but I can't figure out how to show it. I think I can figure out how to show it. It's just nobody else is really on the receiving end. I'll sit here in the evenings and drink some red wine. Red wine, I stop thinking. When it comes to red wine, I kind of, I don't know what happens. The mind kind of just goes into like a duller mode or something like that. And I'll sit there in the evenings for a couple of hours just like watching reruns of old sitcoms, like Cheers, Frasier, Big Bang Theory, things like that, but a variety of different shows that I've seen before, but I'll watch them again because there's nothing there. Because it's just empty, benign, mental content. I don't have to sit there and mull and think and process and worry. It kind of fills the void of something that, here, let me occupy this space that needs to be occupied by something that isn't hurtful, that doesn't hurt. So, that's kind of what I'm doing now. I was thinking of starting a new series, Whiskey in the Bible, or the Bible in the Bar, or something like that, and then just go through and not even interpret anything. Just go through and read about how Abram chicken shit gives up his wife, she agrees, she's a slut. Not even interpret it. Just read it like it's there. Here's your Jewish, Christian, and Islam beginnings right here. A spineless Abram and a slut for a wife. Why? Because you just want to fight back against the weapons that are coming at you. You want to expose it and show that it's... Anyway, well, I don't know to what end that would do. It would just make... it puts me in a position where I'm not one that likes conflict. When I deal with people and communicate with people, I'm very clear on how things need to be in a communication thing. And when I'm talking with Christians who are trying to Christians think they know something. They come at you with the Bible and they are so clueless, but they don't know that. And they'll just keep coming at you and not understanding that they're clueless. At some point, you just got to back away and say, don't even talk to them anymore. They're clueless. Yeah. I've challenged Christians to answer Bible questions. A couple of them take up the challenge, and in a very short period of time, they're like, I'm out of here. Yeah, I don't know. I did that one on the terror dying in his son Haran. And some guy said, I'll deal with that one for you. And he goes through and he reads it and he comes back and he said, it was kind of like like a Dallas or something like that. If you could have a name Dallas of a person, and then there's a city named Dallas. And he's like, that's all that it was. And it's like, no. Go read it. That's not what it says. Anyway, if you go through there, you'll see that Haran the son died in Ur of the Chaldees, but he had a son named Lot. The whole family left Ur, and they went through another land, and then went to Haran, which is like, well, the son Haran already died in Ur of the Chaldees, so whatever Haran they're going to is a different place. And the father died there. Father dies in Haran. So it's like, okay, I know what's going on here in a layering system, but if you don't interpret it, it doesn't make sense. And then the guy was trying to add stuff into the Bible. Oh, that means that the Haran and Haran, that was a person and a city. Two different places, two different things. And you read it and go, no, it's not. You do not get to add to the Bible until it makes sense to you. This is bullshit. But Christians will do that. And the guy actually, then he said, are you getting this from some kind of an atheist website? And it's like, here's the Bible. You just read it. I just asked you to explain that to me. That's not an atheist. Is this an atheist website? This is the holy frickin' Bible, dude. That's where I'm getting it from. You start scrutinizing the Bible, it falls apart. They do not scrutinize it. They get pissed off. Their own material tells them that something is wrong, but they don't read it. They don't comprehend it. If they do read it, they don't remember it. They'll read through that stuff and not even know, oh, I'll read through that and go, hey, that doesn't sound right. How could... You go back, and it's a big section up there. People read through that, they don't even catch it. So there's some memory things, some pattern things going on that we have going on that they don't. There's just stuff. I I'm so frustrated at times because I would be like, it's as easy to see, and people can't. And you're like, fuck, I don't know what to do. Anyway, okay, well, Bernie, I wanted to say that. I should end this. I think that that's what's going on. Simple Minds have now become the largest part of humanity, and they have voting rights. Here we are. Let this be a lesson to the rest of the world. All right. Bernie, those are my thoughts. They're not very well structured here. I just kind of, these are things that I've thought through. I'm like, what is going on? How come this goes this way? And you can't interrupt it. And you, at some point, you step back and realize, man, this is like it's an organic machine. It's an organic evolutionary machine that is not recognized. It doesn't recognize itself. And it might still be the healthiest thing for humanity. I don't know. At some point, we have the capacity to destroy the entire earth. And it gets into the hands of somebody who has absolutely... people say he was like Hitler. Hitler had some intelligence. Trump? Ooh. Man, that dude's a basket case. Anyway. So are his supporters. Yeah. Even his South African wife. All right. Well, Bernie. Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do next. Those are my thoughts. Take care. See you later.